What's going on, YouTube? DFS Quarry back again with another main slate breakdown. We got 3 games going on for Friday, October 19th, 2018. We got JS Miner 87, Jared with me. My name is Joe Miner 3131 on Twitter. You can just call me Joe. Pretty simple slate. I think it's kind of obvious where plays are going to be. Jared, how you doing tonight?
Doing real well tonight. How are we doing there in your lineups tonight?
I'm there so far. Potential to do a little better. We'll see. I got some players left. Pretty much got 2 guys left in the later games here in all my main slate lineups anyway. And then I do have a late slate going. So we'll see. Can't complain anyway. As long as I break even, I'm good, man. So 3-game slate. You want to jump right into it? I mean, there's really not a whole lot here.
Yeah, I think there's going to be a lot of people actually playing tomorrow just because of the slate, kind of obvious picks.
First game up, we got the Florida Panthers heading into Washington to take on the Capitals there in D.C. We got a 6.5 over-under in this, and looks like Washington is a minus 165 favorite. What do you like here?
Yeah, I'm looking at this one. I think you have to go Washington here on this one, at least on one lineup. GPP wise, I think you have to almost be contrarian just to throw that quarter in and expect maybe Florida. And Florida does have the offensive power that they could come out and throw up 4 goals against Holtby. But I don't like James Reimer against this Washington team. I think they're going to be a little bit too powerful. Looking at that, I think you got to use your usual suspects here. I think Carlson's going to have a big game from the defensive spot. I think I like Backstrom a little bit more than Kuznetsov here, just because of that 6,000 price tag over the 7,100 that is Kuznetsov. And I like an Oshie play here. So I'm going against, your usual Ovechkin and Kuznetsov line here, but I'm thinking that second line is going to be where it's at tomorrow. So give me Carlson, give me Backstrom, and give me Oshie to go off tomorrow. And like I said, I think Washington-wise, you want to head up with Dadonov, Barkov. Those guys are in play. Looking at it from defensively for Florida, I don't know if you really want any part of Florida's defense here. I'm not seeing anything that strikes me off as really great. Let's stay off Florida's defense here. Maybe, actually, you know what? Maybe Mark Pisk could be your cheap defensive bailout player for Florida. And like I said, no part of Reimer. And actually, I think Braden Holtby's in play on the slate as well.
Yeah, I guess I'll talk about Florida first here. There's some plays on Florida, obviously. I think you could play both sides of this here. I like the top line of Dadonov, Barkov, Bugstad. If you want to go down to the second line, get a little different here, which you're going to have to get different in a 3-game slate. Take a look at Trocheck, Huberdeau. I mean, those are obvious. You go down to that fourth line, take a look at Mike Hoffman. I don't mind him. The only guy on the defense, I'm with you here. I mean, Pisk is okay. I wouldn't argue that. I have to dig into him a little deeper. But I like Yandel here. I don't see why not. He's in play, I would say, in my opinion. And as far as the Washington side goes, I think it's the obvious plays for certain. If you want any part of the top line, Ovechkin, Kuznetsov, they did run this Stevenson. I don't know much about him, but I guess they did run him in that top line, or they're starting him in that top line. I don't know how much ice time he's going to see with them, though, but he's extremely cheap at $3,900 on DraftKings. And if he's with those two guys on that top line, he's obviously got some upside for some shots, maybe a goal. Let me see. He got 13. He's getting 13 minutes of ice time, so that's not at 3,900. I mean, all you need is a goal, out of him. That's it. But with a shot and an assist or something like that, you'd be okay. So I wouldn't mind him. I prefer Backstrom, like you do, over Kuznetsov, just for that $1,100 savings. You could play TJ Oshie. I'm an Ovechkin guy. He's on fire right now. I say just ride it. If you want to go down to the third line, not too many people drop down there, but you can play that third line if you need the savings and you want to go get some higher price guys somewhere else. Burakovsky, Eller, and Conley, I don't have a problem with them three paired up. If you're looking for a one-off on that line, I don't see a problem in playing Eller or Conley as just a one-off. They're both really cheap, $3,900 for Eller and $3,800 for Conley. They're both in play. The only defensive, Carlson's getting the minutes, man. And he's your better play, probably, but he's more expensive. He's a FanDuel play, John Carlson is. He's only he's 6,400 on FanDuel, but he's 6,800 on DraftKings. That's a little different for FanDuel price to be cheaper. They're normally more expensive. So I wouldn't mind taking a look at Carlson there. Same with Matt Niskanen. The prices are even. They're both at 4,300 on both sites. So if on FanDuel, Niskanen probably be in play a little bit. I don't want to pay 4,300 on DraftKings for Niskanen though. You could probably, the pivot would be Orlov at 3,800 from Niskanen. I mean, he's a better play. He's only 3,800. The only difference in the two games so far to this point in the year is about 11 seconds a game. 18 seconds a game, I'm sorry, on average, and one goal that Niskanen has. Obviously, that if it wasn't for Kuzi playing so well, he wouldn't have even had that goal. But that's it from there for me. I'm really, I like Backstrom a lot. Really, I like Ovechkin a lot. I don't mind the Stevenson. So, that's where I'll probably be up towards the top, to be honest with you. And I don't want no part. I don't know who's going to start in the net. Oh, yeah, it will be Holtby. What am I thinking? Yeah, I don't want any part of Holtby there either. So, you got anything else on this game, or you want to move on?
Yeah, let's move on to the next one here.
All right, next game up, we have Minnesota Wild heading into Dallas to take on the Stars. We got a 6 over-under in this one. We got Dallas is a minus 155 home favorite. Not as interesting as the last game, but what do you got here?
Yeah, I really like Dallas to come back with kind of a vengeance there. I don't know if it was both games last, but both games I think they had a little slow go. I think it was even last game that they did get shut out by the Devils, if I recall. Maybe they had one game since then, but certainly the past games there haven't been as productive as fantasy owners would have wanted, given the high cost that you have with Dallas, but you're going up against a team that, quoted by some media guys here as playing slow the other day. So I think this is a team you don't want to play slow against, and I think it's really going to cost them here. The obvious plays, look at Tyler Seguin here. Look at this, 34 shots. I think this is the past 5 games they're looking at. So 34 shots for Tyler Seguin. That's insane production. If I had to look, that might be top in the league right now. I don't know that offhand, but at half a point a shot, you can't ignore that. Another thing to look at here. So Sagan's definitely in play for me. I think Jamie Benn here. I like that first power play unit, to be honest, here against a team that's known to give up some, take some penalties. And yeah, they're 12th in the league in penalty kill, but this team here, third in the power play here for Dallas. I think you got to put something in play there. If you don't want to, if you want to take a piece of that Washington game and pay down here, there's some cheap plays on that second power play unit. I might, maybe you want to play Rupee Hintz from Dallas here. He's getting 8 blocks, only 4 shots, but he does get you a little bit of power play time. I tell you what, I always like running Matthias Johnmark. He's only 2,700 this year for DraftKings, 3,900 for FanDuel. Well, I'll tell you what, I remember him being a lot higher expensive than last year. So he's off the slow start. Same with Devin Shore. I think you might see some more production against a Minnesota team that I don't think they'll be able to keep up with this Dallas team. I'm looking at it from Minnesota's side. I don't think I want any part of the power play unit here. But I'll tell you what a great some news on the Minnesota's first line front is that Matt Reed is the latest line pairing on that first line. Looking at his numbers, he actually comes in at 2,500 in DraftKings. So they must have recently promoted him to the first line with Eric Stahl and Jason Zucker, whether that's to kind of balance their line out or it's just not working. That could be. I actually like kind of maybe running Charlie Coyle here, third line for Minnesota, if need be. And he also does get some power play on that. Second power play unit. So if I do want any part of the power play, I kind of want that second power play unit with Zach Parise and Charlie Coyle if I were to go anywhere. I don't like Eric Stahl, and I don't like Jason Zucker just because, home ice for Dallas. They get the line choice here, to send out who they want to match up against them, and I think they're going to match up well against them. And I do like Klingberg. I think you got to run Klingberg until he really fails you. And I do like Ben Bishop in play here from a goalie standpoint. Don't want any part of the Dubnyk.
I'll talk about Minnesota first. They're cheap enough as far as that goes. Eric Stahl's not cheap enough on FanDuel. I don't know why he's got a $7,000 price tag, but that's crazy. But on DraftKings, they're both okay. Zucker's 5,400, Stahl's 5,600. Don't know if I'll be playing these guys at all. I prefer Parise and Granlund if I'm going to pair anybody up from Minnesota. You could take a shot on Koivu. He's not playing extremely well this year, but he's only 4,500. Coyle's only 4,000. He's the same. Not really playing extremely well, but he's cheap. So I wouldn't mind that too much. That's pretty much it from the forwards. You could play Suter defensively. He's 5,100 on DraftKings. A little pricey, but I think you'll have some money for it anyway. You want to run Suter out. He's definitely getting the ice time, 26 minutes a game already, man. This cat's crazy. He just doesn't stop. But I think if you need to save some salary, you can play Dumba. He's 4,600 on DraftKings. Dumba is definitely in play on FanDuel. He's only 4,500. He's getting 24, almost 25 minutes of ice time a game. And he's got 2 power play points. And with the power play bonus over on FanDuel at 4,500, you could take a shot on him for certain. That's pretty much it from here. So my main targets from this game would be Parisi and Granlund and Dumba on FanDuel. If I needed to save some cash, I might take a shot on Coyle. He's not going to continue to play this bad. I definitely don't want any parts of the Dubnik. And as far as Dallas goes, I mean, Dallas is obvious. It's really that top line. It doesn't matter how they run it out either. The true top line, well, it doesn't matter how they start it anyway. I know they were starting the last game. I believe they had Radulov on the second line, and then they bumped somebody else. I don't remember who it was up to the first line to run with Sagan and Ben. But that's just how they start the game, man. The true top line is Ben, Sagan, and Radulov, and those guys are in play. You are starting to get some other guys down here to turn it around a little bit. So Spez is in play at 4,100. I wouldn't mind taking a shot on him. Janmark, you might want to take a shot on. He's only 2,700. He's only getting 15 minutes of ice time. But as far as their cheaper guys go, at 2,700, 15 minutes ice time, I mean, what do you really need at 2,700? You need an assist and a block, or an assist and a shot on goal, something like that. That'd get you there. Klingberg is 5,700. I guess you could pay that. He's 6,500 on FanDuel. I'm not certain if I would go there, but he does have 4 power play points. So FanDuel, he's not ruled out. I like Lindell. He's getting 24 minutes of ice time, man. On DraftKings, he's only 3,700. So Lindell's in play at 3,700. And I mean, Connor Carrick's not really getting the ice time for defenseman, but he's cheap. He's only 3,600. That's probably it there for me. And I think Bishop's in play here. So I'm going to write him down as a goalie. Take a look at him here a little bit more. 8,000 on on DraftKings and 8,900 on FanDuel. I just don't know where you're better. You know what I mean? Who else are you going to play here? We got to play one of these goalies, man. So Bishop is in play for me. Anything else here? You want to move on to the last one?
Yeah, I just wanted to give one last little teaser here for the fans and the viewing audience here. Is Minnesota is dead last in the league on away ice here. 2 games, they've gotten 3 goals on away ice, and I think you have to look at that. It's only 2 games. It's a small sample size, but certainly going up against a powerhouse like Dallas, I think it definitely makes you maybe not out, like 3-game slate. I don't think you ever, completely disregard. You only have 6 teams to choose from, but certainly think twice, of where they're playing.
Oh, and if anybody played Kopitar tonight, he's not playing. You still have some time, I believe, to get him out, get him switched out. So if you're playing Kopitar, he is not playing. He's been ruled out with an illness. Just to touch base on that with the Minnesota stat you just rolled out there, if I'm not mistaken, 2 of their away games was Colorado Avalanche and the Predators, if I'm not mistaken, Nashville Predators. So, you know what I mean? Just kind of take that into consideration when I know they suck away from home, but, I mean, 2 formidable teams that they face for certain. Next game, last game on the slate. Again, we're talking about the Nashville Predators Heading into Calgary to take on the red-hot Calgary Flames. What do you got here?
Well, and first off here, I did, wanted to at least do a Google search here. And the good news out of Calgary is Johnny Gaudreau is not feeling any side effects there from that Charlie McAvoy hit last night. So certainly Calgary fans can breathe a sigh of relief. And that would have certainly impacted if I was going to be involved in them. I like this game a lot, actually. Nashville is starting to, drive down their goals against there, which is good because they started off at a slow pace. And I like where Nashville sits on this particular slate. And the reason being is because they've gotten off to such a slow start, at least from DraftKings perspective, they've dropped down their price here. Usually you'd see them at a little higher price tag, but you got Forsberg at a 6,400. You got Johansson at 5,000. The production is starting to come around here. I like Matthias Ekholm there coming out. 2 goals, 3 assists here, and he's averaging 3.5 points. So you can't ignore that stat. I really like Nashville here, but I wouldn't turn away from actually throwing into Calgary folks here as well, because I think there's going to be scoring on both ends here. A team that combines for 7 goals on average for themselves. I really like Mark Giordano here from a defensive side from Calgary as well. I think you don't ignore Gaudreau, what he's done. I think price is going to come into if you game stack this. If you're looking for a cheaper play, maybe you go Austin Cesarnik here at 3,100, getting you 2.58. And maybe you even pay down for Michael Frolik, who had a great game the other night at 3 points, and he's at a 4,800 price tag. But yeah, it's a little pricey to stack this game here, but it's not out of the realm to make it happen. Goalie wise, if I like any goalie here, it's certainly going to be Rene, as I think he is slated to get the start. Let me check that. Yeah, he is slated to get the start. And, looking at both sides here, Nashville's kind of evenly playing away as it is playing on home ice. So I really don't think you have to factor that too much here. But Calgary's just been too productive offensively to completely ignore them in this game. But I like I like Nashville here for the win. And I think that everyone's going to kind of go to that Washington game mode here. So I think that's going to drive down the ownership on this one. Maybe 30%, 25%, but I really look for that Washington game probably be around 50% ownership in a lot of contests. So that's where I'm at. Yeah, I mean, I like defense from both sides. I think there are good plays on both sides here. Forwards, maybe a pair from Calgary, but I don't mind stacking up that Nashville side.
Yeah, I'm pretty much right on board with you here. Talk about Nashville here. Rene's in play for certain. I like, you could play the top line here from Nashville if you wanted to, if you want to stack them up. If you want to play them as a pair, I'd let Ryan Johansson off of that pair. I'd play Forsberg and Arvidsson. Myself, I like the second line better. Fiala, Turris, and Smith. I like Craig Smith a lot, man. He's only getting 14.5 minutes. None of these guys are really getting a lot of ice time, to be honest with you. I mean, hell, Forsberg is the forward off the top line that's getting the most ice time. He's only getting 19 minutes a game ice time. Arvidsson's only getting 16 minutes. So Smith is definitely in play at 14 minutes playing for Nashville here, but he's only 5,100. He takes a lot of shots. All 3 of them guys on the second line, though, Fiala, Turris, and Smith, I think they're all 3 in play. Defensively, you can play your defense here, man. You can find it here. Yossi, he's in play. A little expensive at 5,200, but he's still in play. Ryan Ellis, a little better priced at 4,500. Both them guys are getting 23, almost 24 minutes a game. Ekholm is in play. Ekholm is a better play than PK Subban. I know Subban has the name, you know what I mean? But he's 5,900 on DraftKings, and he's got 4 assists, 9 shots, 8 blocks, and 1 power play point, right? Okay, so it's really just 4 assists, 9 shots, and 8 blocks. You take a look at Ekholm, he's 4,700, so you're saving $1,200 on that play. Ekholm has 2 goals, 1 assist, 11 shots, and 5 blocks, and a power play point. He's getting 2 minutes less ice time. Ekholm is your play right here. I like that. Like I said, I like Rennie. Nashville's in play for me, and I agree with you that people are going to flock towards Washington. I wouldn't mind game stacking this game up here a little bit if you're not going to play Rennie. I don't like Calgary. They're hot right now. I don't know how long this is going to last, but we know it's happening right now, so let's not be afraid, man. That top line is extremely cheap, man. Gaudreau is 6,500, Monahan 5,800, Lindholm 5,200. Although Lindholm burnt me the last game, I'm pretty certain, man. I'd have to double check, but I think he burnt me the last game. I think he was the only one out of the team that didn't do shit. But whatever. The way it goes, sometimes that's variance. That's why they play the game. I like Kachuk. I like Backlund. Frelick come out and stomp some ass after that scratch the last game he had, that healthy scratch, the game before the last one here. I think he had 2 goals and just missed a hat trick. So, yeah, man, that top 6 is in line. You might want to look towards a power play on this, to be honest with you. Let me look here at the power play. A top power play of Kachuk, Monahan, Lindholm, Giordano from the defense, and Johnny Gaudreau, man. That's impressive. Second power play unit, I don't even mind that with Backlund, Neal, Noah Hannafin, Austin Zarnik. That's okay too, man. Calgary's a good team. You can pull some plays off here. Mix it up. Defensively, Giordano. TJ Brody's cheap, but he's getting 21 minutes, almost 22 minutes ice time. He's 3,900. I guess he's kind of in play. I prefer Noah Hannafin over him. Same amount of ice time, but he does get that power play time, and so I prefer him. If you want to pay up, Giordano is 4,900. He's on the top power play unit, so he's definitely in play too. That's pretty much it. I mean, if you really needed the savings, you'd go down to Michael Stone. But I don't think you need to go there. And lo and behold, Mr. Mike Smith, we do not know what kind of a goalie he is, man. I mean, you talk about a bipolar cat, dude. This cat is out of control, man. He is either lights out, Stonewall, you know what I mean? Like ironclad, you ain't getting through no matter what. Or he's like a god, man. He's just like an open window sometimes, dude, and everything gets through. So, GPP wise, take a shot on Mike Smith, man. I mean, be just as good and pliable as anybody in a GPP, I guess. Anything else here, man, you want to talk about? Or?
No, sir. Let's we'll switch it over here.
All right, we'll go to the game and talk about your diamond stack.
There's not much to choose from here, but hey, I was telling the audience earlier in the night there that I like that second line for Washington. So let's just stay on board with it here. I like the Nicholas Backstrom, TJ Oshie there, and Who is their third winger? I can't think of the third winger they put on that Washington side, but see, it's not Kuznetsov. Yeah, the other wing there on that Backstrom and Oshie line.
Oh, it's is it Conley? No, Conley's on the Eller. No, it's not Eller either. I don't know who it is, man. I didn't write him down, so he must not be a very good play.
Maybe it's Jakob Vrana.
I think it is, actually. I think you're right, Vrana.
So I like that play. I like that play a lot.
I don't, and I hope you miss it. I'm going to take line 2 from Nashville. Give me Fiala, Turris, and Smith.
I'll tell you what I just saw, Krejci with a goal just now to put Boston on the board tonight. If I recall, I don't know if it was last night's. I know recently in a slate breakdown we were talking about Krejci being a good play.
Yeah, I like him, man. People just don't quite understand what he does for the team. He plays a role. He doesn't quite have the goals and the assists and all that kind of shit that everybody's looking for, you know. But he's almost shut down center. You know what I mean? He's great defensively.
Yeah, you look and he's like a 10 times better Nick Bonino, you know, from the Penguins era, where that third line is the third line is a crucial role, you know, if you want to make it far in the playoffs.
Sure, absolutely. And what do you got for your snowflake stack here, bud?
You know what? I have to go first line Minnesota here. First off, going back to the Matt Reed. They're bringing on Matt Reed. I think that that's an adjustment that'll take time. It's going to take. They're on the road. I know you said they played some quality opponents on the road, but looking at Colorado, they still giving up goals. So if it is them that they played, but yeah, first line Minnesota here. I don't like that play. I don't like the way they match up against Dallas.
Oh, man. I really don't have anybody left to pick, but I'll go with the line 1 from Florida, I guess. It'd be that or line 1 from Calgary, and I don't want to take line 1 from Calgary. They're pretty hot right now, so line 1 from Florida, we don't quite know yet. Boulder Award.
You know what? On home ice, I have to go Holtby. It just seems like Washington follows up a bad game with a good one, and I really don't think they played too great against the Rangers there the other night. One could say it's a Metro rivalry there, but I look for Washington to kind of lay the hammer down on Florida there tomorrow night.
I'm going to take Bishop. Just in case Minnesota is that bad on the road. I'll cover that up with that. And that's it, guys. That's our 3-game main slate breakdown for Friday. So overall, it's going to be a fun little slate here, I think. You can stack it up a bunch of different ways, but I think that your chalk is going to be Washington, and you might get some ownership on that Ben Sagan and Radulov line. Nashville Calgary is a game stack if you can fit them in. Don't ignore the Dadonov Barkov pairing. Don't necessarily want to ignore the Parisi Granlund pairing either. That's what I'm looking at here. What do you like overall?
Overall, I kind of like this more along the lines of a cash play kind of game. I know the smaller slates we kind of look at for the GPP kind of, because there's less chances of that outlier. But I'm going to stick in the cash games here. Like you said, I like that Nashville Calgary potential game stack here. I might even run just a Nashville only line. I really like them and play for the win. Dallas, don't know. That game, I really like Dallas coming out and dominating that game. Like I said, they've had a couple real kind of subpar games, but the potential for destruction's there. And yeah, Washington is in play here, and I think Florida's just a scary chance. And if I did take Florida, like you said, it would be a strictly GPP play. And yeah, the more I examine the slate, it's going to be a fun slate, I think, to play. But along the lines of watching tomorrow night, I don't see any game that I'm really interested in watching, though.
No, I would agree with you. The only interest I have as far as, pure entertainment watching would be that last game with Nashville, Calgary, just to see if Calgary can keep it going and to see if that stellar defense can slow them down at all. But that's all I got, man. So with that being said, we can head on out of here, guys. Good luck to everyone. Thanks for watching. Give us a thumbs up, share the video, tell your friends about us, buy us a billboard, whatever you want to do. But get the word out there. There's not a lot of hockey information out there, so spread the love, man. And not all our picks are right, but we are going off numbers. It's not like we're just picking picks out of the air. We actually do analyze this. We eat, breathe, and sleep DFS hockey all day, every day, man. So thanks again, and come back and watch us again tomorrow. All right. We'll see you tomorrow, Jared. See you guys. Thanks.